Hey everyone, Maury Curtis Dunbar here with Painted Studio. It is a gorgeous Saturday afternoon. Well, not so gorgeous. We're expecting a little rain. And we today are going to be talking about gold leaf. Now give me just a second. This was a rough day. Clearly I have no makeup on. I overslept. I forgot my iPad. I was going to bring my laptop over to check and see who was watching, but obviously we got people watching and I can see it right now. Hey Tony, nice to see you here. Okay, so today what we're talking about happens to be a product I don't sell. So you're getting, I promise you this is going to be the honest news on these things, because obviously, I don't have any skin in the game since it's not products I carry. Hey, Kay, nice to see you. All right, so yesterday, the day before, you remember, I used composition gold on this. So we're going to talk about the differences between composition gold versus real gold, variegated metals, colored silver leaves, all this sort of stuff, all these terms that you might have heard, and I'm going to explain some of the differences. So first of all, let's talk about gold versus composition. These are composition sheets. Hey, Lisa, nice to see you. These are composition gold sheets. You can see they're very big. They're about 5.25 inches. These are real gold sheets. They are about 3.25 inches. So you can see huge difference in the size. Why? Because they don't make gold this big. It's too big, too loose, too easy to not get a good result on. And they were able to get gold in better results with gold from small sheets. But also, it's a cost factor. On average, 25 sheets in a book. 25 sheets in a book. $6.99, $7.99, $35, $45 a pack. It depends on the price. These are completely dependent on the price of gold and silver. So if the price of gold's down, the price of real gold for gold leafing is down. If the price of gold is up, the cost of gold leaf for leafing goes up. I know that sounds, but it's a little like the gasoline market happens. You can have composition silver or you can have real silver. Now this is real silver. I used a lot of it for a project. I have a lot of it left. Also, did you realize that real gold comes in colors? So I'm dusting this off, trying to get some of the dust off of it. I keep this. Hey, nice to see you, Kay. I keep, what does this say on here? Gold leaf samples. I keep a notebook. And when I buy my gold, I've also got sample sheets. So you can see that all of these, let's see. I'm sorry, I gotta make sure. We've got everything from double deep 24K here to thin silver. Now, when you're in the double deep 24K, the 23.5, these are up into the food safe level. Now these weren't, you have to make sure when you're buying gold for food that you are buying gold that is prepared for food as well, so just so that it is not been handled with something you don't want in food. But we have everything, double deep rose noble, Dakutan or Ducatan, red gold, Florian gold, 23 karat, moon gold, which is very silvery and soft, 22 karat, French pale, all these things. Lemon gold is a favorite of mine, and so is pale gold versus white, because white gold is got more silver in it, and the pale gold has a little bit of warmth to it. And I have them from a whole bunch of manufacturers. This is from Gusto Manetti. I have a couple of them from Manetti. I have German gold leaf. I have Italian gold leaf. Let's see who else is. I've got Japanese silver colored leaves. I'll discuss that. Metal Italian. All the variegated leaves. These are all composition gold. Now you can order some of the composition golds with some different colors, but not a lot. If you look, the colors are not that different. You get, it's literally the level of copper and zinc in each one. And then they also have their metal mica powders, but that you don't need for today. So you have a lot of options with gold leaf. The question I'm always asked is, how do they get variegated gold, and is it gold leaf, and is it real gold? No, it is composition leaf. And to get variegated leaf, which is the stuff that has all these colors on it, it's treated chemically. And you'll see sometimes that they have patterns on them and things like that. I have a piece here that has, let's see, a swirl pattern on it, if you can see that. And so the composition leaves can be patinaed to have not just specific colors, but depending on which chemical they treated it with, but you can also get creative patterns depending on how they apply chemical or how they apply heat. Both of those things will cause patinas on tarnishable or metals that take patina. Composition gold leaf, if you're going to have it outside, must be top coated. And truly it needs to be top coated with a solvent-based product as opposed to a waterborne top coat. And the reason is because it's a tarnishable metal. When you put a water-based top coat over a tarnishable metal like this, it's going to cause it to have chemical reactions. You might have it turn green, you might have it change and get real brownish and dull, but what it's doing is it's interacting with the metals, and you're not going to have a positive effect. So I always recommend a solvent-borne acrylic, whether you're using like a spray like Krylon Crystal Clear Spray or Dux Clear or any of the solvent-borne acrylics. And remember, when you're using a solvent-borne acrylic, it's going to smell, so you need to have good vent, and you need to be prepared to clean up with mineral spirits. Real gold outside, however, does not need a top coat. Real gold doesn't tarnish, and you'll actually have more failure if you're using real gold outside on something if you leave it if you top coat it than you will if you leave it alone. Top coats will fail before the gold will. So usually, like when you see big buildings outside that have the gilded domes, they use real gold on that because the real gold doesn't tarnish, and they don't top coat it because it wears better that way. All right, one of the other things I was sharing with you is Japanese gold leaf, or sorry, Japanese silver. And that was, I gotta find my packets here. Japanese colored silver. Now, when I showed you the book, let me pull it out over here. I showed you all those pretty colors. Let me find it here. Okay, so this is Japanese colored silver leaf. This is silver under here, and it has been chemically treated and colored, and it is a totally different animal. If you ever see this, be aware. This stuff is very different than what you're used to as any kind of leaf. All right, let me see if I can get a piece of this out here and not crap it up, which is hard. All right, let me pull this one piece. It's a different animal. It is not as flexible. It's brittle. It wants to break. Watch. See if I can get it to do it. I unfold this with my fingers and it cracks. You see I made a little pleat in there. Tore right along it. It cracks. This is very interesting stuff. Very cool. Very beautiful to work with, but it will not work the same way any of your other leaves will because it's brittle. So if you wanted to use, this is best on smooth surfaces, not rounded ones, because the fact that it breaks so much, you don't get that lovely bent around solid metal feeling from it unless it's on a smooth surface. And I happen to love this stuff. It's just every little thing that we work with has its little tricks and tricks and positives and negatives. All right, so now I'm going to go in here, and I have a whole box. If you want to look down here, I have a box in front of me, and this isn't all my leaf, but I try to keep all of this stuff separated so that I can find leaf when I'm looking for it. So in one box, I'll have a bunch of leaf. I think I have some more in here too. I have to look and see what I've got. I haven't looked for a while. Oh yeah, see? These boxes that I keep, they have all the gold in there I need. That's Rose Noble, Rose Noble, Rose Noble, Rose Noble. Okay, this is all a dark red gold, so that's not one I want to use. I'm going to put my other rose gold in here, and then I'm going to put my silver in here too. And let's go in here. I have champagne gold. Let's see how much moon gold I have, because I think I want to do that on one of these. Double deep. That's lemon gold. That's 2 yellow. This is moon gold. Moon gold. Pale French gold is still 2 yellow for what I want. Palladium is 2 silver. 2 silver, red gold, champagne gold. Okay. Honestly, champagne gold probably would be the best choice, but I'm not sure I have enough of it. So I'm going to open up a full packet of moon gold, which is just as gorgeous. It is a very warm gold. And I'm going to work with that. So let me put these others back in here. Come on. In you go. Silver doesn't want to fit in that box. It's just a little too big. Silver packets sometimes are cut a little bigger because silver is less expensive than gold. Okay, and if you're using real silver outside, it has to be top coated. Unlike the other stuff, real silver leaf will tarnish, whereas composition silver leaf, otherwise known as aluminum, doesn't. All right, so let's take Our Lady here. I'm going to use the moon gold on her body. Okay, so moon gold. Oh, there's not a full packet of that either. I mark my packets when I... Well, I think we are going with the champagne gold because there's even less moon gold than there is champagne. So let me go find my champagne. I normally, as you saw there, I normally mark the backs of my packets to tell me how many leaves approximately I might have in a box or in a packet. I forgot to mark that one, and I may have to use them both to fill this one, but that's okay. Now, clearly, using real gold adds to the cost of the project you're doing. Do not short yourself on money if you're spending the money to use this. Now, normally, I would have my Gilder's pad out, a Gilder's tip, everything else. I'm gonna try this a little differently. This idea of mine may or may not work. We're gonna find out. All right, so I'm gonna cut the back of my book very close to the stitch because I don't wanna waste any gold in it. Let's see, I gotta find out where I've got the gold. Okay, I got gold right there. That champagne is a gorgeous color. Yeah, I think I'm gonna need a Gilder's tip. It's just gonna be a little too thin because real gold is very, very thin. And it can take some work to get it on the surface. Got a tip. What I'm about to show you is a Gilder's tip if you've never seen one. This is a Gilder's knife. It's for cutting leaf. This is a Gilder's tip in here for picking the leaf up and placing it on your surface. So you can see I actually had 2 in here. Now, you can do this one of 2 ways. If you're oily skin, you don't need anything. If you're dry skin, you need to rub a very, very thin, and I mean insanely thin, bit of Vaseline on your arm. And of course now my Vaseline's gone missing. Where did my Vaseline go? I've been tripping over that little jar of Vaseline forever. All right, well, the other trick is too, if you're oily skin on your face, which generally I don't except I'm warm, you can take your tip and you can go like this. I have no makeup on. Do not do this if you have makeup on. You can cause your metals to oxidize. So I take it and do it on my face. Let's see if I had enough oils on my face at all, because I'm generally very dry skinned, to get this to work. Do it on my arm too. All right, I had enough oils on my skin to at least grab it. So you pick it up on the tip, and then you lay it carefully. Ugh, everything wants to float around, and my gold does not want to lay down correctly on the tip. All right. And I just tamp it down like that. Now, I don't normally gild odd shapes like this with the idea of perfection. Now, as you saw, this gold, the colored gold was heavy. This is how thin it's sticking to my fingers. Watch, it tears with the breeze. So that is a huge difference in product there. And let me get this off my finger. Normally, when I'm using real gold, I'm using an oil-based size, which I am not at the moment. I don't care. That's how I felt like doing it today. This foil adhesive has cured so long. There's no issues with it. Usually I use an oil size because it levels better. But I knew I wasn't worrying about that leveling here. Let's see if I can get this to stick to my arm. Hey, my tip. Now, my skin really is dry. I cannot get this to grab on anything. Well, let's see. Oh, it's going to be a pain in my tuchus today, I can tell. All right, well, we're going to do that because I'm not wasting it. I'm not going to cry uncle. I'm just going to get it on there. And yes, oftentimes when I'm using composition leaf, and I've never tried this with real gold because the real gold tends to be so thin, I will put that sheet on there. With composition leaf, I can often slide the paper back like this and lay it on the surface like that. Slide the other sheet out. And you know what? That's working today, so we're going to embrace that. It's not something I normally do with real gold. It works generally is easier with composition gold because composition gold is heavier. But it seems to want to work with real gold today, so we're going to take advantage of that. Let's get this over on this side so the whole front at least will be the same color gold, and then if I need to use a little of the other gold at the end, I will. The last few sheets of the moon gold can go on the back. Oh gosh, this champagne gold is a beautiful color with this. Look how lovely that is on there. So clearly when you use real gold, you have substantially less material to work with. That's more expensive, but I don't think anybody should ever be afraid to use real gold. I mean, look at me. I'm just kind of playing with it. It's still just a creative material, so don't be afraid. Right? And I promise you, even the first time I started playing with real gold leaf, my hands shook. I was like, oh my God, it's real gold. By the time I got comfortable with it, I was practically throwing it around the room because I'm like, it's just a piece of gold leaf. I know that sounds very complacent, devil may care. haphazard, whatever phrase you want to use. But what it is I just stopped being intimidated by the material I was working with. Now, this is working so well today, I'll have to remember that it worked with this when I do this again. So look, I'm showing you how to use this real gold without even having to buy a special Gilders Tip or anything to use on it. Oh, I'm very pleased. That looks good. Oh, come on, let go here. So these sheets are stuck in between the sheets of paper. There's a little static charge on every sheet of paper. Oh, look, I found a little piece that blew off. I'm gonna stick it onto a little gap spot that I noticed right there. All right, let me turn this around again. Okay, I got both sides covered well. I wasn't sure. I needed to check. And let's do that. I really like how this is starting to come through here. I wasn't sure if I was going to be doing any gold leaf of any kind, composition or otherwise, on these, but I really am pleased with how this is coming through. Oh, this is looking good. I like this. Take that little tiny piece there. And we're almost done with this one, which is good because we're almost done with the gold too. That one's empty. That one was empty. Probably pulled it out to do something else with it. I'm clearly getting down to the last of what I have here. And look how pretty that looks with that gold on there. That soft, beautiful, champagne colored gold. Look how lovely that is. I'm really, really happy with how that came out on there. Okay, so we're gonna set that one to the side. And I'm just gonna check to make sure there's no pieces of leaf left that I missed. Always do that when you're working with your real gold. Well, you should do it with everything. But you don't want to waste any of it and throw it out by accident. I worked on a job site with a gal who, when you finished with a book, one guy crumpled them up and it made her crazy because she had her system and she would take her books, see if I can organize it, and cut it in half and then crumple them, because that meant she had already checked it to make sure twice that there was no gold not going on there. Okay, so now we're gonna take this one, and I'm thinking I might use, I have copper and I have Rose Noble, and I'm thinking maybe the Rose Noble gold would be good on there. Red gold, it's too small. Canadian French pale. Nope, that's not in there. Back to my boxes of gold, see what I got here. I'm not using the rose gold, that's too pink. Okay, double deep rose noble, let's take that out. Let's see if that is the right color. Now this is going to be a reddish gold, meaning it's very rich and expensive looking. That's really pretty on there, isn't that? I like that. I think I like that better than the copper. I think that'll work better for me than the copper. All right, I'm going to take this. I'm going to make sure before I go and do anything dumb, make sure I don't have a packet that's open and that I've been using. Nope. Everything's all set. I got what I needed. All right, let's pull this open. And this one packet should do this. But again, you know, these golds can be $35, $45 a packet in materials costs, and you don't get wholesale prices on these. Unless you're going to sell gold leaf, and that requires a substantial investment. Okay, so I must have used something out of this book. Yes, I did. So that would, I mean, for a cost like this, if I'm going to use a whole book, which I probably will, we're talking about adding, you know, $40 onto the materials cost of what I'm doing. So be prepared that if that's not what you or your client are prepared to spend, that you look into using composition leaf. It will make you happier price-wise. All right, let's... Come on. Let's separate all of this. See, I got a little stuck on there. That doesn't matter. Watch. Actually, that's very pretty on there. Very rich looking. I'm good with this. I had no intentions originally of using actual real gold. I was going to use all composition. But I got in here and looked at my golds, and the colors were so pretty and so rich looking. I was so happy. Oops. Stay there. A little piece of something from one of the pages, one of the leaves, stuck to my fingers. So we're going to use it in a more useful way. There you go. It likes to stick to my nail polish. Even though my nail polish is well and truly dry. But you can see now real gold is a little more challenging to work with than composition gold. It's much lighter, likes to fly around, much thinner, more delicate. Got a little bit of an attitude on her. I was taught this method of gilding from someone who was a decorative painter like I was at the time. She was not as invested in gilding as I became later. But this was like the best technique. It saved me my sanity because for years I was not comfortable using a Gilders tip, and I'm like, how the hell am I going to do what I want if I don't want to use a Gilders tip? Well, this solved that problem all right. I really love this this Rose Noble Gold is so rich looking. Look how beautiful that is. All right, as soon as I finish the front of this, I'm gonna lift the camera up and flip it over and or flip it up so I can see if anybody's got any questions, because with my camera pointed down and my iPad at home, yeah, I don't know what you're asking me at the moment. Okay, got that piece finished. Let me flip up and see if there's any questions that I've missed. Okay, I don't see questions, so hopefully you're all. Did you prime with metallic paint, then foil adhesive? Yes. On these, if you look back from today's live to yesterday's live, I think these were all painted in shades of set coat. So this had champagne toast set coat on here, and then I released a foil. I applied foil adhesive, released a foil over it. On this one I used the champagne, the spotted champagne. We went for a whole champagne theme here. We had the champagne we had champagne paint, we had the champagne foil, and now we had the champagne gold. So that's what I did because it was all in the same color family, and I knew if I had broken spots, it would still look really complete and connected. Normally, again, I do not use water-based foil adhesives for gold because it dries with a texture that you generally don't want to see in gold. However, it works perfectly in this situation because I'm already working on a highly textured surface. All right, let me see if I missed that. Anything else? Thank you for everybody for the compliments. All right, I'm gonna come down. I'm gonna finish this one, and then we're going to be calling it a day. Yeah. Oh, I got a little stuck on the back of his head. Fortunately, not a lot. It must have been a tacky spot on the back. Okay, let's turn him this way so I can see. All right, let's slide this paper back. Again, this will not work with real gold in many situations, but it works perfectly in this one. Also, you need to be in a calm, cool, quiet place to be playing with real gold because it's so light and it likes to float around. It works best if you're in kind of a tranquil frame of mind, because if you're kind of running around like a maniac and spazzy and jumping all over the place on your desk and all of that, your gold leaf will go everywhere except where you want it. Ask me how I know. Yep, I've had that as a problem for years. Actually, it's very hard for me right now to talk while I do this because with my face pointed down, I create a breeze right here, and it wants to pop up the corner of the leaf. So I'm trying to be a little more zen as I do this right now. Not exactly easy to talk and be zen. Slid just a little bit better into place. I love this color gold. It's so rich and expensive looking. And I know the camera doesn't always pick up the differences between this and the other golds, but let me tell you, in person, the difference is substantial and impressive. All right, let's do that. Love how it doesn't all grab perfectly and there's some fracturing so you see the colors underneath. I just love that. I think it's so beautiful. Let's get another piece here. Space right there. Oh, a little piece of paper stuck to it. All right, so we've got things spinning, some paper sticking. Now we're going to get to the bottom of this edge, and it'll all be good. See, that's what happened. I inhaled and it sucked right up over my finger. Up you go. There we go. I got one stuck on the bottom, one stuck to my finger. Good grief. Okay, let's do this. Yep, everything's a little blowy right now. Just got stuff going every direction right now. So I'm just gonna have to dig in with bare hands and try to get it on her, or him. There we go. Lord. This stuff really does love my fingernails. So let's get the rest of the back of this and then we will call it done for today, and everybody can run off and have a fabulous weekend. God, some days things feel so sticky, everything sticks to me but money and men. Thank you, Dolly Parton Steel Magnolias. And I'm glad you're kind of all seeing me smack this on here and move it around, because every time I tell somebody not to be afraid of their gold leaf, they look at me like I'm crazy and they say, how do you do that? And I'm like, just put it on something, damn it, and get over yourself. And okay, I'm not usually mean like that, but yeah, you know what I mean. Because if you're afraid of your materials, you're never, ever going to get a great result. So stop being afraid of your materials and just use them. And yeah, you're gonna make mistakes, we all do. But that's not a bad thing. That's how you learn. Okay, let's see here. A little more on this shoulder. There we go. Now you can see I'm rubbing this with my finger. Normally I would be using something along the lines of a Gilder's mop, and I will get in there, but I want to get this tacked down into this texture, so right now I'm just using my finger. Or fingers. All right, let me get a few last spots. That. Get here on the side. Let's see if I got any little scraps to touch up a few spots before I try to take one more piece of leaf from anywhere. Okay, now where's my mop? All right, this is a Gilder's mop, and I'm going back in here, and what this mop does is it goes in, and as I swirl stuff off, it gets all the last little tiny raised bits of gold leaf off of things. So you can see this following down here. Now, if I were 100% a Gilder studio, there would be a system for me to vacuum all of this up, and then you save it and you turn it into Gilder's paste by saving it all up and then remelting it, and you can add it to wax. Now let's see if I can get any of this stuff to stick up where I want it, up at the shoulders. Perfect, that did just what I wanted. Okay. Now you didn't see me do that with the other one, it just, the gold took a little differently, didn't have as much overage. And then sometimes if you get a little bit of gold on a spot you don't want it, instead of taking something else, I take the paper from the packets and just give it a little rub, and that's usually enough to just dislodge it from where I don't want it. I mean, I love doing this. Now I can see somebody said something, but my camera currently is on an angle, so I can't see it, but I will look up in a second, answer or respond as needed. But I mean, seriously, just how cool. Look how cool that looks. All right, so I'm gonna set that over, wipe that up, flip the camera up, see what you were saying. Yeah, it is a delicate process, and you do have to have kind of a light touch. And given that I am, thank you, Tony, given that and truly I am a bull in a china shop kind of person, my touches are not often that light. I tend to be a little heavy-handed when I paint, a little heavy-handed when I do a lot of things. So The gold leaf takes practice, but if I can do it with my hands like bricks that they are sometimes, I know you all can do it. So I hope you enjoyed this. I appreciate you popping in. It is 5:30 on Saturday afternoon on my time. So go home, go have some fun for the weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.